All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is to review that boring ass fucking game. Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon. I would have literally rather done work. I actually have some work to do. I would have rather have done some work from home than watch that game. It was terrible. It was the first game this season where I can honestly say I was so bored. I was so bored. I mean, first things first. Let's get the horrific news out of the way. It wasn't even just the fact that the game was boring, but the game claimed one of our players today in Danny Welbeck. I mean, these guys were having some rough tactics all game. I mean, they turned into Stoke 2012. They were just kicking the crap out of us all game. And to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, because I glanced away and then I kind of tuned in when a ball came into Danny Welbeck and he kind of headed the ball. And then the next thing you know, he was just rolling around on the pitch. So I don't know if he came down on it wrong or if he received a tackle off the screen or whatever. I'm still not entirely sure how it happened. But the next time it cut to Welbeck, his feet, it's a horrible picture. If you're easily squeamish, I'm not particularly squeamish, and even I find that picture hard to look at. But it's like his ankle. It's like, it looks horrible. It looks like his foot is the other way around. It looks horrendous. It looks horrible. Anyone who's following me on Twitter, I mean, I've retweeted it because the damn picture's going around. It won't take you long to source. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's a nasty picture. It's not for the soft-hearted. And it's a shame for Welbeck because we're talking about a Danny Welbeck who is in the last year of his contract, and that injury ain't an easy injury to come back from, you know. And you tend to lose a yard of pace with those type of injuries. Just ask Aaron Ramsey. I mean, all right, I know his was a lead break, but them type of breaks around the joints, it's never going to quite be the same. So, yeah, it's a damn shame for Welbeck for his Arsenal career to end like this. And, you know, a cynical part of me would say if it was under Wenger, he'd probably get another contract. But we're in new Arsenal these days, so you kind of feel like unless he makes some miraculous recovery and shows some sort of form, that's pretty much it for Danny Welbeck and Arsenal. And it's a shame it ended like that, really, because I actually thought Welbeck actually was probably our best player, to be honest. He was the one that they clearly was causing a lot of problems with. I mean, anything good that we were doing was coming from Welbeck's movement. And it's a real shame for him. A real shame. I like Welbeck. I do. I have a lot of frustrations with Welbeck. I can just hear and picture the comments coming from Antonius Black, who I know hates on Welbeck so much. I'll tell you, even Antonius Black will be feeling sorry for him today. But I like him. I always have. Does he score enough goals? No, of course not. But the one thing I would say is, and you know me, it's all well and good saying that someone like, for example, a Mesut Ozil has all the God-given skill and talent in the world. But there's a lot to say for someone who just puts in hard graft every time they hit on the pitch. And they may not necessarily be the best. They may not necessarily be the most polished. But damn it, they will give everything every time they step out onto the pitch. And that is what I can say of Danny Welbeck. That, however, isn't what I can say of a lot of current Arsenal players which I'll get into in a second. But for me, first and foremost, because I wanted to get this out of the way, get well soon, Danny Welbeck. No matter what happens, I ain't gonna shit on you. I think you've served Arsenal well in your time with us, and if this is it, good luck to you, mate. Honestly, all the best, and I hope you heal soon. I really do. Forget Arsenal. Just get well for yourself, mate. Get well for yourself. Get well soon. So now that's out of the way, and I say out of the way in a respectful way. Yeah, I need Aaron Ramsey and Henrik Mkhitaryan to the front of the congregation because I'm about to fucking go in. So when Henrik came to Arsenal, I tried. I really did. A friend of the show, someone I'll be doing a show with very soon because we're soon going to be playing Man United and is a United fan. Stell warned me about Mkhitaryan. Warned me that he has a lot of frustrations with Mkhitaryan because he's not what he seems. And when this deal came about, because I always like the look of Mkhitaryan from afar. And I've said this on a few shows, on my show, on other people's show, that Mkhitaryan doesn't seem to be as good as people think he is. I mean, outside of his debut game where he had those 3 assists, what else has he really done? And I always used to assume, it's because he's playing on the left-hand side, because Wenger persisted playing him on the left-hand side. And then, he then started playing on the right-hand side on the Emre. Today, he played as a number 10. All right, bar the last 10 minutes when he swapped with Iwobi, he played the game as a number 10 and was shit. Let's be real. Was shit. Let's not sugarcoat it. He was terrible. And if there was anything that kind of exemplified how terrible he was, we have a corner in the 94th minute of 95 minutes. You think to yourself, all right, whatever you do, if you're not going to play this short, just don't kick it short. Like, make sure it beats the first man, but also make sure you don't completely miss everybody. What does Mkhitaryan do? He does the latter and completely boots the ball, and it misses everybody. And I'm looking at this guy like, what's your deal right now? Like, what is your deal? Somebody said to me last week, because I didn't pick Mkhitaryan in my, I think it was my Carabao Cup team, and somebody wanted to know why. Is this enough of an explanation? That's why. That's why. Man's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm done. He's terrible. He's terrible. He is. The Premier League, Arsenal, whatever. The English game is not made for this brother. It ain't made for this brother. So, in light of the fact that Welbeck is now injured, Mkhitaryan is useless. You know who I consider calling back? Reece Nelson. They're talking today about, Gareth Southgate is considering putting him in the England squad. Hello, our parent club need to consider calling his ass back. Because for me, it's not working. This Mkhitaryan thing ain't working. It's like we've got him to appease Uber. And at some point, as Kenny Ken says, Arsenal's the star. Forget who it upsets. Why not just make the decision to get rid of this guy at the end of the season? Because to me, I've not seen anything this season. For all the players that have improved, I've not seen anything from Mkhitaryan that makes me think, you know what? That guy's got it. And speaking of another one who ain't improving, if anything, is actually regressing, is Aaron Ramsey. What the fuck has happened to Aaron Ramsey? Because Aaron Ramsey weren't this bad last year. Last year, he was one of our better players. Mind you, that was during our terrible season. And it's like he's gone back to, when was the season I had that, when I couldn't understand why this fool was in the team? What was it, 2017, 2018? No, it was 2017. 2016, 2017 season, where the guy was just terrible, where nothing was coming off for him. He was doing this showboating thing for no apparent reason, and it never ever came off. And yeah, people be sat there thinking, oh, but Chig, you know, the whole team played shit. Are you gonna attack Iwobi? Listen, Iwobi played terrible too, as did Uber. A lot of them played terrible, but to me, those two in particular were the standouts. Because unfortunately, everything seemed to happen through those two and then didn't happen through those two. Terrible, 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 terrible. The way I see it is, fuck the end of the season. If he's going to play like this, what use is he to us? I'd rather play Carl Jenkinson in the middle. Listen, Carl Jenkinson was terrible today. Like, don't get me wrong. But at least the man is trying. It's like Ramsey's taking the piss. And it was coming the 88th minute, and he started doing this backheel showboating crap, and then gave the ball away. And I'm like, you clearly don't care. Like, you clearly don't care. This is not just, oh, Aaron Ramsey made a mistake, get over it, chick. No, you clearly don't care. Maybe you're vexed at Arsenal. I don't know. So annoying, because on the one hand, people, I know it already, will say, I'm overreacting. We're still in control of the group. Chick, calm down. Chick, you should take it easy. Chick, what are you talking about? We're 15 unbeaten. All right. Because to me, that was the worst performance we've had this season. Because I'll tell you what, at least with Man City, we went down swinging. At least with Man City, we went down swinging. At least with Chelsea, we went down swinging. And yeah, all right, we didn't go down. But what kind of useless game is that? So many players play so dead today. So many. It sounds so bad to say because I never want anyone to get an injury. You know, in a way, I was relieved when Lichtsteiner came off because we looked so slow and lethargic when he was playing. I know it's terrible to say, but I'm just being real. On to Wolves, I guess. I'll tell you what, on that performance, I wouldn't bet against Wolves getting some sort of point. We need to step it the fuck up because I don't know what that was. Anyway, guys, that's my rant over with. Yes, we drew the game. We didn't lose. But it damn sure didn't feel like victory. It damn sure didn't feel like an achievement that we're 15 unbeaten. In that unbeaten run, I want to get wins against these type of teams. Anyway, if you like this video, can't imagine you have because I've just been spending it bitching. But crush the like button, destroy it, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I ain't gonna lie, it sucked the life out of me watching that game. Almost feel like going to bed. You know what? Ain't a bad idea. I'm off to bed, people. I'll be back tomorrow to do a very, very, very brief player ratings. I ain't messing around with that one. Just gonna do it, get it out of the way, because the sooner I forget about this game, the better. And then on to the next. It'll be Wolves. And I hope for a much better performance than that. And yeah, people will say that the Danny Welbeck thing clearly affected the players. Listen, no offense, we weren't playing great before the injury. Never mind after it. All right, people, I'm out of here. Take care. Deuces.